Hello everyone, I'm Shaniqua, your Navy transition coach, and I am here to help you navigate life both in and out of the Navy. Successfully transitioning from military life to civilian life is no easy task. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my 2 best tips for leaving the military. If you want to learn more, then just keep watching. So the number 1 tip that I'm going to give you today is to plan ahead and start early. I personally say 36 months, okay, from your EOS is when you need to start really thinking about what the next phase of your life is going to look like. Because this takes time. You know, the military, they give us, right, thankfully, they give us that 12 months to 24 months mark to really start having us to think about what's going to happen next. But that personally is not enough time. You need time to have a vision, to envision what the next phase is going to look like. You need time to play around with that idea. Start working in that area or aspect. Start playing around, you know, seeing how you like it. And then the very last part is the implementation piece. Like, that's what you're going to be doing when you actually leave the military. You cannot, I don't care what nobody say, you cannot just sit there and think that, oh, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and you just start working on it 6 months before you leave active duty. Like, that is not proper planning. And so here's a list of things that I want you to take into consideration as you are planning your military exit. So number 1, I want you to make sure that you take full advantage of your opportunities when it comes to your TAPS classes. I personally took TAPS like 2 or 3 times. 2 at my duty station and then 1 to the location that I was actually going to. So number 2, find out where you're moving to and reach out to as many veterans organizations as possible. This is actually how I found my job working at Chase Bank. When I left active duty, went reserves, and then left the reserves and went IRR. I was able to find the veterans organization in Colorado that was able to help me get that position. Now, along the same lines as finding those veterans organizations, it is very important for you, if this is something that you want to do, but go ahead and look for military-friendly jobs. Now, a reason that I say military-friendly jobs and not just veteran-friendly jobs is because some of you are transitioning into the reserves. And let's just be honest, some civilian employers don't really get the mindset of service member and also don't understand the reserves aspect or responsibilities of a service member. Now, number 4 is examine and evaluate your transferable skills. Just because your job or your rate, your MOS or whatever you want to call it was an engineer or IT specialist or whatever you want to call it, it doesn't mean that what you're applying for should have that same information on your resume. When you go to TAPS class, they're going to help you to understand how to write a resume. However, if I were you, I would spend some quality time really researching on your own how to develop, how to lay out your resume. Because just because you did your job in the military as an IT person or an engineer or whatever, it does not mean that the job that you are applying for is going to approve or accept the things that you did primarily, and you know, you'll get the job. They want to see, well, how is it that you qualify for this job? And a lot of the reasons, or one of the biggest ways that we qualify for that job is because of the extracurricular things that we do or the collateral duties that we have in the military. Now, before you even get to searching for military jobs or understanding your transferable skills or reaching out to those veterans organizations, this is something that I really need you to pay attention to, okay? Create, which is number 6, create your own persona. Okay, like, we think we have to fit inside of some box, but we really don't. We can be whatever we want to be. Okay, on paper and in person, we can be whatever we want to be. If you've always wanted to be a teacher, you don't have to go to school, right? Just teach. You can literally make a YouTube channel and teach people whatever it is that you want to teach them. You understand what I'm saying? So before you do all of that, the persona that you want people to see, that you want your employer to see, or whatever it is that you're trying to do as a civilian, Create that before you get, like, either while you're in TAPS class or before you're in TAPS class. And the reason I say this is because we want to be confident in who we are as individuals and what we're trying to accomplish in this world. And the biggest way that you can accomplish that is by understanding, like, lay it out, make an outline. This is what I want people to think about me. This is what I want people to understand and to know. This is how I want people to respond to me. Like, however it is that you feel like you want to create your own persona, you want people to see you in this specific way, go ahead and create it. Now, the very last thing, which is number 7, that I want you to put on this list is find out what courses you need to take, whether it's free or whether it's paid. Okay, I highly suggest you try and take these courses if they have to be paid for, you're like way ahead of time, like after 36 months, 24 months mark, so you can actually use transition assistance, or I'm sorry, tuition assistance. But you can also get courses online for free. Like, I'm taking courses via Coursera. Just because I don't have to pay for it doesn't make the information that I'm receiving less valuable. I can actually get a certificate, and I highly suggest that when you are taking these courses, you find courses where you can get a certificate or proof that you actually took the course and you learned something. Okay, so now that we're done with the very first tip, which is planning ahead and starting early, the next tip, and it's the last one, it is to get involved with civilian things. I'm telling you, people struggle mentally, right? When they're trying to leave the military lifestyle. Like, when we say lifestyle, like, we're talking about the whole thing. Not just your day-to-day work, like your home life, your daily work life, the way that you think, the way that you act, the way that you eat your food, like lifestyle, the way that you live your life. The military molds us to be a certain type of way. And not saying that everything that we learned in the military is terrible, but there's some things that is too much, if we can say. It's too much for the civilian side. So if you go ahead and get yourself involved in civilian affairs or civilian things, it'll be a lot easier for you to understand how they think. It's easier to understand how to navigate in the civilian world again. Some people, it's not that difficult. Like, for me, it wasn't that difficult. Never was that difficult for me to be involved in civilian stuff. One was because I volunteered while I was in the military with, like, Salvation Army and things like that, like beach cleanup, all that sort of stuff, sort of things. And another thing that I did personally was I went to a lot of what do you call it, like meetups. So there are like gaming meetups, there are real estate meetups, there's business meetups, there's like tech meetups, like so many different types of meetups out there. If you don't know what meetups are, it's basically groups of people coming together and learning about whatever topic that they're talking about, or just basically whatever that they want to learn about. That was really helpful. One was because I was able to really see how people interact with each other. Like, there's no ranks in the civilian world. You don't know people by rank. You know people by their experiences. You know them by what they actually teach you, by how they talk. Like, that's how you know people, you know. I'm not trying to be weird about this, but if you've been in the military long enough, you know that there's certain expectations of you, and the expectations on the civilian side, they're just different. So if you get yourself involved early enough, the transition will not be difficult. So now, what questions do you have about transitioning from military life to civilian life? Go ahead and let me know in the comments below. And if you're new here and you like this video, then make sure that you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so that you know when the next video is out. And on that note, I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.